racing groups from across the country arranged to convene in Jacksonville on Saturday evening. During the social media planned event, stunt riders or spinners, or whatever you want to call them, descended on selected locations in our city with the purpose of engaging in criminally reckless driving behavior. These racers and spectators filled the streets of Jacksonville, blatantly ignored traffic laws, and put our community in danger. Roadway safety is a priority for JSO, and time again, citizens express anger and frustration with these street racing groups. Jacksonville citizens are tired of roadways being used for the dangerous amusement of a criminal element who have no regard for public safety or safety of others. This operation evidences that JSO, when these street racing events are happening in our jurisdiction, that we will tactically deploy our assets and those of our partner agencies to shut them down. Both JSO and the Florida Highway Patrol worked together during this interagency show of force. 114 JSO officers from across the agency were assigned to this operation. Multiple street racing participants were arrested, including the organizer of this event. Vehicles were impounded and seized, and we issued many traffic citations. I'm going to show some video footage which captured these criminal street racers from Saturday evening and Saturday afternoon. And as you'll see, these people have no regard for their own lives and safety, much less than that of others. Even before they took to the streets, one of their own spectators suffered a grievous injury. Despite the maiming of one of their own, these criminals immediately returned to their dangerous activity. I want to warn the public that it's graphic, very graphic, so if you don't want to watch, either turn your television off or turn your head. So just please be advised.
Spoke with your supervisors. We've all kind of discussed what we feel like to be the best plan, because what we're going to try to do tonight is hurt kittens. Okay?
Predator. Got the block now.
Hey, I got multiple. Coming out towards the bush.
We're doing donuts, but we're getting out of here. I've seen it now.
There's a third wide out the parking lot.
That gentleman just got off work. We can let him through.
That's desperality right there, buddy. Let them make contact first, and then Yep.
Hands up.
That's the organizer. So before I take questions, I want to speak directly to those illegal street racers. And if you think you can come to Jacksonville and cause havoc on our streets with impunity, you're dead wrong. And go someplace else. If you live here and you think that you can drive recklessly for your own personal amusement, think again. Jacksonville is a city of law and order, and we will keep our streets safe. JSO will continue to run these operations with our law enforcement partners. We will hold people accountable. You will be ticketed, you will be arrested, and your cars will be impounded and seized where applicable. And we want to try to do that as much as possible. We know where you are, and we know what you're doing. Your dangerous games will not be tolerated in this city. Furthermore, be warned, the penalties you face are only going to get stiffer. And under new state legislation that becomes effective July 1st, you'll be subject to enhanced penalties for street racing. There will be no grace period, and I'll repeat that, no grace period. Usually we like to inform the public, but they already know that what they're doing is illegal, so there won't be any grace period. You'll be arrested for this criminal offense and for anything that we can get you for if you're doing it. You may think that your street antics are just a game, but they're not. I promise you they're not. And I promise you that this sheriff and this sheriff's office is not playing that game. We'll come at you, we'll come for you, and we're going to come get you if you continue to do this in our city. And I can tell you that our partners at FHP feel the same way. We just had a big discussion about it, and we're going to continue to talk about ways that we can handle this issue. So at this time, I'll take any questions. I'll be glad to take anything that you might want to ask.
Sheriff John Cephas, you said these guys coordinated on social media.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you guys found out about that?
Yes.
Can you talk about how brazen that is to go on a public platform like that and plan?
Yeah, so apparently they think we were born yesterday, and they don't think we can read social media. So they get on social media and they start talking about whether it be coded language. They start talking about where they're going to go, where they're going to meet up, and they think that we can't figure out what they're going to be doing, but we're going to figure it out. We have enough people. We have a very large organization with transportation, helicopters, airplanes, partner agencies all across the First Coast. And so we're going to address the issue because it's nonsense. I've seen it myself. I've seen it with the Grom motorcycles. I've seen it with the rocket, the fast motorcycles. I can hear them from my house at night when they're out street racing. And it's just aggravating. And I hear it from the public all the time.
Sure. Jump right back on, how long before the events did you guys know this was happening? And if you are able to speak to some of the organized efforts that went into this, making sure this could be the outcome?
Not going to tell you how long, but I'll tell you that when we call FHP or FHP calls us, we start working on a plan to do this. We want to be very detailed how we did it. We want to do it as safely as possible. We want to be effective. And I think it's been effective. There weren't a whole bunch of arrests, but they were meaningful arrests of the right people. Citations written that were meaningful citations of the right people. And you saw the grotesque injury that one individual, suffered. There's people riding on the outside of these cars like it's some sort of amusement park. But it's not funny when someone gets slung off and they die from it. So this is why we take this so seriously. And I hear this from the public. This is not something we just want to bother people having fun. This is not about fun. There's ways you can do it legally. We were just discussing. I don't know, find you someone that's going to build you a track, or you find a track where it can be opened privately, safely, where it's done legally outside the public streets. But we're not going to tolerate you shutting down our bridges. You're not going to get on our highways and do whatever you want to do because we're going to stop you. That's a promise.
And jumping off that, you said there weren't a ton of arrests, but they were meaningful. What are the challenges to stopping street racing? Because I'm assuming at least half of these drivers can just speed off, and I don't know what, if you want to go and issue a pursuit, but can you speak to any of those challenges to really stopping this?
Well, I guarantee the word's out, right? And I'm actually using you guys to help send this message. Now, this is about the people of Jacksonville knowing what's going on, one. But two, letting the people that are doing this know that you're not going to come here and do this because you feel like you can just take over our streets. We're not going to let it happen. So we're going to constantly monitor. We're going to constantly listen and pay attention to what's going on, the chatter. But we've already seen some chatter where they want to stop coming here, which is good. We don't want them to come here. Go to some other city, but don't come to Jacksonville and do that.
Was this one of the more robust groups that had come in some time?
There's been a few. This was the more robust response because we're always learning, right? One of our core values is always improving. So we're always learning a better way to attack an issue, attack a problem. So we put together a very good plan, which I think was a very good plan. We called the organizer. I promise you he's going to think twice about doing that again because, again, we're going to fix it. We're going to have a plan in place to stop you.
Sheriff, I know you said that there weren't many arrests made, but do you have an exact number on arrests? How
5.
vehicles were impounded and citations given out?
We'll get that for you. I know there's over 70 citations given out. About the vehicle impounds, we'll get that for you.
And where specifically did they come from? Or is it all over the country? Do you have a general idea?
Couple different cities. I don't have the list in front of me, but they were from a couple different cities, Ben. But listen, it's really important for people to know this is not a game. This is not something we're gonna keep letting you do. It's dangerous for everyone in our city. Our citizens deserve to ride on these roads and these highways safely without having to worry about you coming up behind them at a very, very high rate of speed. If you think this is the Fast and the Furious, that's fantasy. That's TV. That's not real life. Real life is you're going to suffer the consequences for your actions, right? So we're going to make sure we stay focused and we're going to take care of business.
Do you know if there were any innocent bystanders that weren't part of the group that were hurt, or maybe the car bumper was hit on the highway or anything like that?
Well, thank goodness, no, not this time. But I can't say there hasn't been that in the past. They've done a lot of silly things that we don't think are very silly. We're going to address it like it's a serious problem.
I think that might make some of these spectators rethink what they're doing too.
Yeah.
You get out there in front of those cars and you might lose a leg. That
What-
quick.
100%. And it's a very expensive spectating sport. If you want to watch it and we catch you, it's about $250, $260. And we're going to keep riding. We're going to ride as many as we can because that encourages the behavior. The video cameras, people watching and videoing it. That encourages the behavior, pumps it up. So we'll write as many citations as we can.
For these groups, are they like stick and move? Do they come out here, spend a little bit of time, and then get out and head to another location? Or were they like, hey, we're going to hit this cul-de-sac, we're going to hit this parking lot?
No, they're very, they try to be very calculating in what they're doing, so they'll go to a spot, hang out for a little bit, spin around, and tear up people's asphalt in private parking lots that actually have to pay for what they have. And then they'll leave and they'll go someplace else. But fortunately, we have enough assets in place. And remember, like I said, we have several helicopters. We have the FHP airplane. I'm not volunteering their stuff, but the Major and I have already discussed some of these things. So we have plenty of manpower, and we're going to use our manpower to stop you from doing this.
Is there a way to quantify how often you see this?
It's hard, but I can tell you that there's a group of people sitting in front of me that are on top of it, and when they see it coming, when they know that it's coming, they get prepared for it.
That person who had that gruesome injury to the leg, do you have any update on them and what their condition was?
No. Put yourself in a really bad situation, really bad place. So I don't know how he's doing. I don't know if the leg is okay. I don't know if they were able to save it or not. I'm not sure. I know that it looked really, really, really bad. And that's why we showed the public. Because this is why it's not a game. That's not a game. That's very, very dangerous. Fortunately, he's alive. All right? Anything else? Thank y'all.
Stop.
works.